In today's video, we're going to be taking a look here at the upcoming storms that we have in this pattern. Lots of thunderstorms and lots of severe weather is on the way. Not only that, though, we have to take a look at the temperature pattern. Very important things coming up very soon. We do also have that big Arctic blast that is going to move in, bringing some Arctic air back into the eastern United States. Very, very late season Arctic blast, and probably last until September or October. We're going to be taking a look at that, but we do finally have signs of the end of that kind of Arctic pattern back into a warm pattern. So we're going to be also taking a look at that towards the end of the video. I want to tell you guys more about my company, Trilogy Maps. We do have that 50% off spring sale that is going on. They are some of the best maps that most people have ever seen. That's most of the feedback that we've gotten. So we've gotten awesome feedback from our customers. I highly recommend at least checking it out in the pinned comment and description down below. You can also use the discount code DIRECT to get an extra 33% off on top of the 50%. I don't even know what I'm doing. Am I even good at running a business? Because that seems like too much of a discount, but I'm still doing it anyway because I'm absolutely crazy. So go ahead and check it out today. Again, description and pinned comment down below. Now here we are taking a look, and we're going to just move this forward actually towards this afternoon. We can see there is a pocket of thunderstorms here throughout some of the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, and then along the plains here we do also have some activity happening here from Texas up through Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, the Dakotas there. We're dealing with these thunderstorms and severe weather throughout these regions, so we're going to be watching for that. This is the time of year where there's kind of severe weather daily somewhere in the United States, so that is what we're dealing with here in general. Now, as we can see, we're dealing with also on day 2, Sunday. This is going to be the 14th of May here. We can see that this is another day where we're dealing with some thunderstorm activity here through the plains, and even some snowfall here through the Rockies, which you guys are going to be shocked when you see the total snowfall map in just a moment. So really, really wait for that, because that's going to be crazy, guys. I already took a sneak peek at it. It's looking crazy. Now, as we can see, there is some thunderstorm activity once again in the upper Midwest there, and then the Ohio Valley. So day 2 of that happening. Also by Monday, we see another round of potential thunderstorms here for the southeast and portions of the southern Mid-Atlantic, I would call it. So we're dealing with that there. Then for the Rockies and for the South Central, we are also dealing with some more storms rolling through. The quietest region at this point is going to be the furthest north areas right now. That is kind of the pattern we're in. By Tuesday, the 16th, we do see this kind of cold front, pretty intense cold front rolling through the Great Lakes and the very far northern regions of the Northeast here. Potentially, thunderstorms along this line or heavier showers cannot be ruled out, so that is certainly something that we are watching at this point. We can also see for the south central United States here, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Louisiana. We're seeing these thunderstorms and showers taking place for all of these states again. So they have been just in a very active pattern down there, and it doesn't look to end anytime soon, honestly. We're seeing this continue here on the models. By the time we're reaching Wednesday the 17th here, we get our next kind of area of storminess here moving southward here with the jet stream. So we can anticipate much more activity underneath here. Already we do see that, but we're going to be seeing much more of it with this system. So by the time we reach Thursday here, we see a very intense line of kind of a cold front here setting up. Your main area of low pressure is about there, and we do see this sort of cold front looking frontal boundary here, and this would feature some thunderstorms along it. So for Thursday the 18th there, that is what we're dealing with. By Friday here, the 19th, what we see is a very interesting inflow of humidity, heat, moisture, thunderstorms here alongside this kind of upper level low featuring a cold front here that wants to push its way through as well. So this looks to be a very, very active day, especially here, I think, along the kind of Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas corridor, even extending eastward through Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. And then some deeper south areas like Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, as well as Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. All of these areas I'm going to be watching for severe weather during this point, because this seems very intense, honestly, in my opinion. So potentially as we approach the 20th time frame, we'll call it the 18th through the 20th, we're really on high alert here over at Direct Weather. for severe weather potentially happening here. It seems like things will be amplified and really, really favorable for some sort of activity. And even as we reach Saturday here on the 20th, this looks to be a big thunderstorm day along the southeast coast, even all the way up through the northeast, as you can see, as that cold front takes place. So certainly a big thunderstorm day for both the Gulf and the East coasts there on Saturday. And as you can see, by Sunday, that completely moves out. We do have some lingering thunderstorms isolated and scattered here throughout the southeast. But as we approach the summertime, this is going to become a daily occurrence, obviously, for a lot of these deeper south areas, as they average like 100 to 200 thunderstorms a year. So that's, a third of your days in the year almost. So that is absolutely crazy. As we approach Monday the 22nd here, we can see that there is a lot of storminess along the west here. And this is usually a sign of us moving back into a negative PNA, which would encourage warmth in the east. So we're going to have to watch and see for that. But certainly some heavier precipitation happening there along a lot of your western United States, a lot of the Rockies. That is the area that primarily right now we're watching for those thunderstorms after the 20th, or at least showers and rainfall in general. Now, the total rainfall here, we, no surprise, see a lot here for these areas that saw daily rainfall according to this model. So anywhere in the reds is going to be, in general, above average precipitation. So we're seeing a lot of this here for the East Coast, here in the South Central as well, and then also up here in the upper Midwest, we're seeing some of this as well. So in general, everywhere kind of in this corridor here is seeing quite a bit. The reds is anywhere from about 2 to 5 inches of rainfall, and then even these browns here for Kansas, Oklahoma, down through Texas, where we're seeing really, really intense and very persistent rainfall. That is going to be 5 inches plus, which is a lot over a 10-day period. So certainly going to be above average rainfall for a lot of these areas. We do see that activity pick up right at the end of the model run, but we're still going to put a big X here because we basically get shut off with these major lows moving onshore. So we are really slowing down out west in general. Despite the activity uptick at the end of that model run, we're still seeing below average activity in those areas. Now, total snowfall, I told you guys would be shocked. Look at this. Look at how little the amount is. We see maybe a little bit further this Sierra Nevadas, a little bit here for the Rockies. We are finally coming to an end with this, and I feel like the days are numbered of us looking at this total snowfall map. So very interesting. We also have some snowfall really close to the very northern corridors there of North Dakota, and also the very far north areas in Maine, maybe seeing flakes. But that is about it. So we are days away from stopping looking at this entirely. Now, the temperature pattern, as I talked to you guys about, there is some crazy things upcoming in the temperature pattern. Right now, we're dealing with warmth in the east, so it's hard to believe. But in the coming days, we're going to see a big cool down happen. It's pretty clear, if you guys have been keeping up with the channel and know these patterns, that a positive PNA is setting up. And this is just going to encourage more and more cold to move through into these eastern regions like this. So we're going to be watching for that. Over the coming days, we can see this does deal with some warmth fighting back until about the 20th. After the 20th, it is a full-blown Arctic blast for a little while. The interesting thing is that the warm does fight back, and as we get past the 25th here, as you can see, we do start to see a couple of interesting things. Firstly, I think that the majority of the warmth is over here, not in the west by this point. So this is the 27th, by the way, Saturday. But also we have this kind of cooler air mass moving into the west, and that would be the beginning stages of a negative PNA, which again is the opposite of that positive PNA. So if you see a negative PNA setting up here, and we'll just extend this all the way towards the end of the model run, but more cold than warmth in these areas, that is going to encourage warmth to move into these eastern regions here. So that is potentially what we're looking at for the end of May, beginning of June timeframe. I would say anywhere after the 25th of May. That is what these models are wanting to indicate. About 10 days from now, we will move from this warm pattern into an Arctic blast and then back into a warm pattern, because for days we've been waiting to see the end of that kind of cooler pattern in sight. And finally, I think we have that here on this model where we're beginning to see these signs. But I still think it's something we need to stay tuned with over the coming days. We're going to get a lot more information here from this model. So be sure to check out the trilogy maps in the pinned comment and description down below. But not only that, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one, because the coming days are going to be very interesting. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to get a lot of information here, I believe. Be sure to also like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.